All right, guys, let's do it up here. Start the streaming up. Let's see what we got for some questions. So we're going to wait to people to join us on today, March 4th. It'll be Season 8, Episode 10 for The Walking Dead. I'm about a minute early because I'll do it at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Sundays. So just going to wait till this loads up and get it rolling here on there too. So what's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me this Sunday. Got a lot going on, a lot of good stuff, a lot of big things on there too. So yeah, I already questioned about the helicopter. I'll answer some questions. I'm gonna wait for people to join in there of everything. Hopefully everybody's having a good Sunday. I am enjoying the Sunday here. It's a little cooler in Florida. Luckily, cool down a little bit. So I see your question about the helicopter. I don't know about when we're going to see the helicopter just yet there. I'm not sure of it. So when we see it is when we see it. Maybe later on in the season. Maybe we don't see it again. I'm not sure. So I'm excited for tonight's episode because it's The Walking Dead, and I love watching The Walking Dead for sure. I made it a bunch of videos this week. Been doing some editing for the book series. It's going really well. Even though there's a little snag with the publisher thing on there, I'm just ironing that out, but I'm finishing up the edit. I got 2 more chapters to do with that. So anybody watch UFC last night? I did not. I watched the vlogs and the stuff on there. I kind of like the vlogs a little bit more than the actual episode, the pay-per-view sometimes of the UFC, but that was last night, 222. And we got a lot of good stuff coming for The Walking Dead. Some news, some spoilers, some information. So just to give you a warning, heads up, spoiler warning, obviously, because people are going to be asking me questions, as they already are. Want to put that out there about some potential spoilers, what's likely to occur in the episode tonight. Season 8, Episode 10. I think it's going to be pretty good. It's going to pick up where 809 left off, and it's going to be, I guess, some more sadness because it's real. People are still putting out questions and things about Carl possibly living. It's kind of frustrating because it's like, one, we knew he was going to die for a while. It was kind of the big spoiler by The Walking Dead that we knew that he got bit and then he's going to die. People just don't want to deal with it. It's kind of annoying. Because we didn't see him get shot, and he could be this, and maybe it was 1 bullet on there too. So it's kind of there too. But thank you, Sean237. Awesome, very cool. Thank you for the super chat. Always welcome for that. I'll be answering questions. I'll be going for about an hour, guys, and then I got to do the whole Sunday cleaning stuff and taking care of everything and getting ready for tonight. I'm excited for it. Yes, exactly, Big Sexy. Coral is dead and buried. You see him being buried by Michonne and Rick, the white cloth sheet over the body. We don't see the body, so people are like, it's just this, it's just that. You know, it's like, come on, guys, just be realistic with it. It's just gone. That's where it is. Carl is gone. Chandler Riggs said it numerous times that it's going to be his last episode, and it's gone. Carl is buried at Alexandria. We'll see that at the beginning of the episode. Have you seen the sneak peeks, the first looks, the first 4 minutes of it? Do you guys watch that on YouTube? I watch it. I check it out. I see the breakdowns of it. You guys know if you know the channel. If you don't, hit that subscribe button. Join our family here, the Walking Dead family. You know that the orange backpack is something that I do believe in for the orange backpack theory, the cursed theory on there. So it's just pretty cool. Thank you, Sean237. We just hit 50,000 subscribers very recently. So we're going to be doing prizes, giveaways, and stuff coming up very soon. I wanted to do it when we hit 50,000. I would have loved to hit 50,000 before the Season 8 return, the second half. But since we're in the middle of that, plus my book series, plus mystery boxes, plus all this stuff, I want to make sure the quiz for the giveaway is going to be done right. I'm going to be doing probably an Amazon gift card, a digital one, because I can ship it or send it or transfer it to someone if someone wins that they're in the United States. Or outside the United States. If they're in the United States, I can still send it that way. It's just easier to send, and then maybe you can buy a book that way or something Walking Dead related or whatever you want with the giveaway of the Amazon gift card. I'll be doing several of those as we have our goal to 100,000. The more that we hit that, the closer we get to that, the more giveaways we'll be doing. Probably at 50,000 that we already hit, 75,000. Then, of course, the big one at 100,000. We'll be having several giveaways for that. Quizzes. But I think it's very interesting that people join and they stick around and become a member of our Walking Dead family, and I appreciate that. So I'm excited for tonight's episode. We're going to see Alexandria. We'll see the Sanctuary. We'll see the Scavengers. We'll see Rick and Michonne, Negan, Simon, some more of the Saviors, some of the Scavengers, Jadis, and everything there too. So are you excited for it? Are you still watching the show? I would think so if you're in this live stream for it. If you're not watching it, I don't know what to tell you because I love The Walking Dead. I'm going to watch it to the very end. I said that numerous times. Now, I made the video, excuse me. I made the video recently about the best seasons of The Walking Dead because of the Rotten Tomato scores of the seasons. And it's kind of like frustrating because I love season 6. It's my favorite one. And it really wasn't that highly rated or scored. Season 7 was a little lower and season 8 as well. So I know people were saying like, oh, I'm coming off as, frustrated or hating on it. It's just annoying. Then it's annoying that the writers are doing this to the show that we loved. If you watch the series in seasons 3, 4, 5, and even 6, you're like, man, it's got this awesome feel to it, the story, the things there. And then as soon as Negan came around in season 7 and season 8, it's a different feel to it drastically. It's so crazy. It's a big difference. And I like that Negan is there, but maybe the thing is done. I'm not a big fan of Negan versus Rick and the amount of power that the Saviors have. I understand that the Saviors are a big group, they're a big threat, and they're clearly there to show that Rick is not the big king in this world, even though he's our main guy we're following, that the Saviors have a lot of power, a lot of manpower, a lot of firepower, a lot of people, a lot of control. Negan and the Saviors are not some group that you mess with. But ultimately, it's annoying. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Let me just get rid of some haters here. It's just annoying when people do this. Let's see. All right, guys. We're getting rid of some things here. So, sorry, guys. Got some haters coming in here. So, it's kind of annoying when people just join here for it. So, sorry about that. I should have cleared it out. But either way, guys, Season 7 was kind of the weaker turning point of it. Season 8 is turning it back around. But the mistakes in the writing that they're doing is what we're dealing with right now. The Carl situation. It's like some people don't like Carl. Some people don't like certain things. It's just annoying to me for the future of the show. So I'm not a big fan of the writing that is going on as of Season 7 and Season 8. So I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not liking where we're at in some aspects, but I am liking the war as a whole. How about you guys? Are you liking Season 8? I'm liking it. I think that it's going to be hopefully turning everything around for this season, the series, into Season 8 and Season 9. So we got some questions here. Ask some questions, guys. Take some questions right now. I'm going to be looking at the top chat, and then we'll go into a couple areas. But do you think Henry is going to take over Carl's storyline? That's a big thing that's going around. Obviously, if you watch the episode of Season 8, Episode 9, you got Carl, the sad goodbye, then you have the kingdom. And then the kingdom, back to Carl. And then Carl, and then the kingdom. And then you see when Rick and Carl and Michonne are talking, Michonne is watching Carl and Rick talk, basically. Carl is saying that he shot a kid, and he did this, and he did that. And then they pan to Henry, kind of around that same timeline. So they are kind of grooming or possibly leaving it open to have Henry be the new Carl, because you need that storyline for somewhat. But Henry, to me, is a minor character. He's probably a lot cheaper than Chandler Riggs is, but I think they want to keep that dynamic of the child aspect, actor, character on the show, because without Carl, who's left? Enid, Judith, maybe Maggie's baby, Gracie. There's really not many kids left. So you got to have Henry be a little bigger role for sure. I want to see how it plays out. I don't have high hopes for it because Henry, to me, is not the biggest character. Maybe he turns it around. But how big can he be without, because we all know Morgan is leaving at the end of season 8. Did you see the little 15-second sneak peek of Morgan running with his bow staff, stick, whatever you want to call it? I think that it's very cool to see him actually doing it for, we see the turnaround for Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead connection with Morgan. So I don't know if they're going to actually do more of that, but I think Henry has a high possibility and probability of being the next Carl on the show somewhat. Not sure if he connects the Lydia situation or what, but we'll see what happens. So let's see what else you got. A lot of people didn't like Carl at the beginning in season 1, season 2. He was kind of annoying. He was kind of frustrating. He didn't listen. He wanted to be involved, but he wasn't ready yet. And then we see that. And Henry's kind of the same way. So they kind of connected that and maybe down the road. But Carl's connected to Rick. Henry is connected to his brother that's dead. Henry's connected to Morgan, who's going to leave. Henry's connected with Ezekiel, who we're going to see what happens with the connection with the kingdom down the road. Maybe Ezekiel's comic part. What's going to happen with that? So when will we see, let's see what we got for questions. When will we see Father Gabriel again? When we get to the hilltop, that'll probably be episode at earliest 11, maybe episode 12. Hopefully you guys check out the channel. The Walking Dead airs tonight in the States. I do a review of the episode that aired. So I'll do a review of the episode tonight, and then I'll do a breakdown of the trailer for the next week's episode as well. So definitely stay tuned tonight. I do it at night when it's late, so I don't know your time zone or where it's at, but I'm in Florida, so the Eastern Standard Time, it gets pretty late. When the episode ends at 10 o'clock, then the Talking Dead's on. I post a video at 11 o'clock at night, sometimes midnight for a couple of videos they take for it. So Heath, we're not sure. Where is Heath? Is Heath coming back or not? I am not sure when he's coming back. I think it's going to be season 9. He'll definitely be around for it. I think that's going to be a very important part when he comes around. I think it's a high probability that he connects to the Whispers, to the show. But we'll see what happens for the rest of the series and the season coming around. We got some big stuff coming tonight. So I'm going to talk about some spoilers. So if you want to stop watching now. But the spoilers tonight will be very good for tonight's episode, is what I gather. You got Rick and Michonne at Alexandria. I think that it'll be very interesting to see the continuation of the Carl death, how Rick and Michonne are dealing with it. And it's going to be tough. It's going to be rough, for sure. Let me see. Sorry, I got a bunch of questions here, so I'll answer these while I got them. So do you also miss the realistic aspect of the show, surviving, looking for food? Yes, I do. I greatly miss that. Tamara or Jan, whoever's talking there, welcome, guys. You'll be in book 6 coming out very soon, so I got you in the book. But I do miss that, the survival, the aspect, the looking for food, the going on runs for themselves, not for Negan, for them. It's just kind of annoying. I think it's just going to be frustrating because they lost that aspect, and that should be a part of Zombie Apocalypse from the beginning of the show to the very end of the series to the very end. So how do I feel about the new showrunner? Angela Kang has to prove herself as a showrunner. She could be a decent writer. She could have wrote some good things, some stupid things. I think she'll be decent for the show. I think Kirkman and Gimple will still be pulling the strings a little bit, but Angela Kang has the probability and the most likely to just continue what Gimple was doing. I don't think she's going to change things up that much. The damage is going to be done, maybe, because Carl's gone. We can't bring him back around. I think it's going to be a good season 9 because of the Whisperer storyline and the story arc after the war. It's very interesting, and it'll bring a lot of people to the show. Hopefully she doesn't mess it up, and they do what has been working for the show in the past. Hopefully they get back to that. Go back to season 3, 4, 5, and 6 and replicate a lot of those things, because hopefully the Saviors aren't really involved too much and it won't be too bad. So my favorite season is season 6, just because of the connection. Episode 609 is my favorite episode of the entire series. I don't think it gets better than that, but I think it'll be, hopefully get around back to that information. I would love to see that. But so the spoilers tonight will be Alexandria, Rick and Michonne, They got to take care of Alexandria a little bit. Michonne sees a fire burning on the gazebo. She doesn't want to leave without putting out the fire. They get overrun by walkers. They get it back to the bird van after they pack up the bird van a little bit, and then they leave. Then Rick and Michonne stop somewhere. Rick reads the letter that he got from Carl. We don't know if we actually see the letter or what's there. We'll see how it goes. And then he also reads the Negan letter. Negan gets a letter, Michonne gets a letter, Rick gets a letter, and Enid clearly get a letter. The rest of the people, we're just not sure yet. I made a book, or I made a video on the letters. And I think Daryl should get one, Maggie, Carol, some big people that are connected with that as well. So I think that we should see Rick and Negan's speech to each other, which to me is very dumb that Rick gave him his position away, that he's still alive. He could have snuck up in the sanctuary or did something with it, but I guess Dwight needs to have a plan going forward. And either way, Dwight's going to go back into the sanctuary. We're not going to see that here, but Rick gave his position away that he's going to live and he's alive. And it's frustrating because Rick's doing stupid decisions in the war so far. He wants to save people. He doesn't want to kill Negan. That's going to do this. And then he wants to kill Negan. And he wants to do that. And he comes back and he's going against his word now. What are you doing? What is that happening all over the place? It doesn't make sense for a lot of things. I think that it's very important to have continuity, and the war is going all over the place. It's going on too far. It's getting too crazy with the storyline. We're losing valuable people on the series. We're losing, cast that has been around since the beginning. It's just stupid. But we'll see how it turns out. I have hopes for the second half of season 8. The Negan letter and Rick's letter are saying that they should stop fighting and work together and put their guns down. Rick contacts Negan and says, "My son is dead, and he wrote you a letter that he wants us to stop fighting." It's not going to happen, but that's what the Negan letter says. And Rick's like, "I'm not there yet. I'm not going to listen to my dead son, honoring his wishes." Like when Carl's dead, I'm going to do what I want to do. It's not going to happen. I'm still going to come after you. So it's like, well, it's a little crazy. So Negan, Rick, they have letters, which is kind of cool that Carl kind of be the person to step in a little bit. It doesn't really fit where it was in season 7, but trying to bridge the gap for it. So I can see where they're going with it. We'll see Oceanside with Erin and Enid. Erin and Enid are going to be at Oceanside. Cindy wants to kill them, but she doesn't. She kicks them out. Erin stays. Enid leaves. Enid goes back to the hilltop. Erin stays to try and convince them to join the fight. Cindy does not want to do that, so we'll see them later on. Probably around, episode 13, 14, or 15, around there towards the end of the season. Oceanside will come join the fight. I would assume that they're going to come help out at the big battle at Hilltop when the Saviors come attack Hilltop, probably rescues their prisoners, and they go back again. They'll probably have 2 somewhat battles at Hilltop, but Oceanside will come back around to help out for sure. I'm thinking that Erin will help bridge the gap for it. Don't know why they don't come. I can see why they don't, because they're fine there. They're secure. No one knows they're there besides Rick's group, and they don't have any guns, so how are they going to fight? So we'll see what happens with that. Simon and Negan, the power struggle will continue this episode. Simon, I like Simon a little bit. Negan, somewhat. So Simon and Negan, I agree too, Janet. I want to see them actually fight. I want to see Negan and Rick actually fight. I want to see him swing at Lucille and duck and punch and do this and kind of have a Jesus battle with Negan, like in the comic. The battle and the fighting sequences in the comic have been better so far in the comic than on the show. Especially the character of Jesus on the show has been so, not what I wanted to expect from the comic version. So much better in the comic. I don't know what they're doing with that. But either way, yes, Casey, atheist, trash people die tonight. The Simon Negan fiasco continues. Simon does not want to listen to Negan so much. Simon wants to do his own thing. He wants to be the leader, basically. Negan is saving people's lives. I think Simon is sent out to kill the scavengers by Negan, and he's told to kill one person. The rest will fall in line. That's Negan's way of thinking, that the damage is done with one person's death. You don't have to kill everybody up. So kill everybody. So Simon goes to there and has a problem with Jadis. Jadis doesn't back down with Simon, and Simon says, you guys are awesome. No, Simon tries to calm the situation down a little bit, but Jadis doesn't back down. Simon shoots Brion or Tamiel first. I'm not sure what exactly happens, but Simon basically kills one person. Jadis doesn't back down. Before that, I believe, or around that time point, Simon takes all their guns and weapons from the scavengers. They don't really put up a fight, the scavengers. They just get their weapons taken out. They're saying, look, you can come join us still, be on our team, just join us. We're going to take your weapons, though. You need to just say you're sorry. And I think that Simon gets fed up with Jadis, and he doesn't believe Jadis, saying that Jadis tells Simon that Jadis went to the sanctuary with Rick to bring Rick there to, take him away. That wasn't the case at all, because Jadis was with Rick to take on the Saviors and join Rick's side. She's flip-flopping back inside. Simon sees right through that. Simon kills Brion or Tamiel. Either way, they both die. Then the rest of the Saviors die as well. So Jadis is the lone survivor. Jadis is the last person alive of the scavengers. Good, bad, indifferent. Not sure how you feel about them, but it's a long time coming. The scavengers need to go. And the scavengers are really annoying to me because the way they talk. I like the idea of having them be a trash group, people that take the trash dump metal, scrap metal, do that. So let me just finish this thought, and I will answer your questions there, Marcia and 83 Dread. I will answer the questions. Give me 1 second. But the thought is that the scavengers are going to be gone. Jadis is the lone survivor. Simon is doing the opposite of what Negan said. He leaves one person alive instead of killing one person. So he left. The one person is there for sure, but it's the one person alive, not one person is dead. And then Rick and Michonne go to the scavengers and see them, and they're all dead. So I'm not sure if Jadis lives, or she commits suicide, or she's a prisoner, or she's taken there. She probably lives. They probably won't kill her off because they're going to keep this weirdo around for some reason. I don't know why they do it, but I'd see them live. I personally like to say she just, commits suicide, but I think she's going to be around. So we'll see how it is on there too. So let me see your questions, guys. I know people have been asking me. Sorry, I was just trying to continue the thought there of the spoilers. Lauren Cohan is demanding equal pay. Her contract is up in season 8. Jeffrey Dean Morgan's contract is also up in season 8. Do you think AMC will resign them? Well, I heard the opposite, that Lauren Cohan was not seeking equal pay as Norman Reedus and Andrew Lincoln. I heard it wasn't that high. It was higher, but it wasn't the same rate as that. Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Lauren Cohan, not sure they're different. I'm sure Jeffrey Dean Morgan would sign a contract if Negan's going to be around again, which I assume he will. Maggie could be the lone shoot. We don't have a contract just yet. We don't know what happens for Maggie's future on the show. Does Lauren Cohan sign? Does she not? Do they recast? Do they kill her off? A lot of big things should be happening very soon, because at the end of April, early May, they're going to have to start filming and coming back to Georgia to start filming season 9. And if Lauren Cohan's not signed, she's not going to be there. So we'll see what happens with that. I'll keep you posted for sure once I get more information. Let's see what you got for other questions. So thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for all the good enjoying the books, Chris. Thank you. The next one will be out in probably a couple weeks. I'm not trying to rush book 6. I'm trying to make sure it's done right. I'm editing it right now. I'm trying to get it done. So how far along is Maggie? Great question. It's probably about 3-4 months at the maybe 5 months at the most. So she's got half her pregnancy done. It hasn't been that long, guys, since she's been pregnant. Season 6 to season 7 to season 8, everybody thinks it's years have gone by, but only months have gone by for sure. So I never, everybody's saying, oh, because if it's 3 years for us that we're watching season 6, season 7, and season 8, that she's been pregnant for that long, the timeline on the show is different than our timeline in real life. That's what I'm going with. So, I don't know, Jeffrey Morrow. You think Jadis will kill Simon? I don't know. I don't think Jadis does that. I think Simon will be, if he's killed, he'll be killed by Negan or Dwight. I don't think it'll be Jadis for it. So, yeah, she's been pregnant for 3 years in our timeline, Darwin. That's what I'm saying. On the show, it's not been 3 years. Season 6 to season 8 is not 3 years by any means. So the timeline matters in the world of the show. I know in our life you have to think about it like that, but it's not the same. What do you think will happen with Daryl? I think Daryl continues on with the show. I think he goes on for a very long time of the series. I don't think he gets killed off really ever, because he's good friends with Greg Nicotero and people love him and he brings in a lot of stuff. And if we're losing Chandler Riggs and Carl like that, we're going to need the Daryl connection on the show. We need big characters. We need Daryl, Carol, Michonne, Rick, and hopefully Maggie, but I'm not sure what's happening with that. So let's see some of these questions. Ask your questions now, guys. I'm looking at the live chat as we speak. I will be answering them too. What's my favorite season? My favorite season is season 6. My favorite episode is episode 609. Probably going to watch that later just because I've been talking about it. I want to rewatch that on there too. The good days of The Walking Dead. The good days, when we used to do this. When will Carol meet Negan? Great question. Maybe at the very end of no, I take that back. Probably at the attack on Hilltop. Maybe episode 13. I'm not sure if they really meet and hang out. They probably just interact with each other, shooting at each other. And then probably in the finale too, of season 8 finale, with Carol and Negan, because there's big interactions. I want to see Gregory and Father Gabriel meet again. I want to see Morgan meet Negan. I want to see Carol meet Negan. I want to see Maggie meet Negan. I want to see all these things, these interactions come back around for sure. And I want to see Game of Thrones fans. I want to see Jaime Lannister and Brandon Stark. I want to see that interaction, how they meet again in the last season of Game of Thrones next year for sure. So there's an attack on Hilltop. Yep, there's at least one attack. Remember, guys, there's prisoners there. They're going to have to get saved by the Saviors. The Saviors come and attack the Hilltop, maybe with the tainted weapons, with the blood and the guts and the brains and the zombie blood and the bacteria from the mouth all over their weapons, so they don't have to do that. So no, I don't watch Rick and Morty. I've seen it a couple times on TV, but I don't watch that much TV besides The Walking Dead and a couple other shows. I'm trying to get rid of my cable bill, actually. If I didn't have to watch The Walking Dead, AMC, and a couple other shows that are on cable, then I would get rid of that. What do you think, Jadis? Why do you think Jadis is in a state of undress in the promo pics? That's a great question. Maybe her clothes got ripped off by the scavengers that were killed, or maybe did something, because she is in like a white nightgown basically when she's sitting at the top of the trash heap, but she's in the black, long sleeve pants on there with that. I don't know. That's a great question. Hopefully we'll find out this episode. We'll see. Even with the spoilers, guys, I still am intrigued with the episodes because we don't see the episodes. We get some information, some spoilers on paper, how it's written. Then we got to see how it actually plays out. And again, not 100%, but it's highly likely to occur. Do you think Oceanside would join the group? Not yet. Later on, they will. Probably not right away, but Oceanside will join the fight. Not in this episode. She's going to Cindy turns down Erin and Enid to join the fight, especially after Enid killed the grandmother. But so there's that writing again. Do you think Carl would have died if Daryl wasn't on? I don't know. The Carl-Daryl connection doesn't really ring one to me. I just think a whole different slew of why Carl got killed, but the writers made the decision for that too, and I don't think it matters for them, for the character to stick around for some reason. Hopefully they have a plan, and they think we'll see how it plays out. So thank you, Seth, for loving the channel, and all you guys for joining me today on this Sunday, March 4th. Today is Season 8, Episode 10 of The Walking Dead. My book series is going strong. Let me answer a couple more questions, and then I'll do the couple of things that I want to talk about from a couple of different areas. But what you got for me? What will season 9 be about, and will it carry on with All Out War? Nope. All Out War will be done at the very end of this season. Season 8, the war ends. The second season 9 will be mostly likely a time jump. We'll see if Rick is injured and he's walking around with the cane like in the comic book. We'll see what happens with Negan, if he's alive or not. Will probably be some lull of life is good, and then the Whispers should be involved some point where some people are going out. We'll see the kingdom, the hilltop, the sanctuary maybe be in shambles. If Negan's not there, you know who's going to run it. Maybe Dwight, maybe somebody else. So we'll see. It should be a lot of big things, but the big thing for season 9, I would think that the Whispers will be the big part of it. I think the early, probably maybe a couple episodes in, the Whispers will come around, or we'll get the hint of them, or somebody will see them, like a patrol will be out and we'll see them, or Heath comes running back and saying, we got a problem, guys. That would be pretty awesome if Heath runs back at the very end of season 8, the finale, and says, we got a problem. Credits. Check out season 9. You know, we'll see if that happens, but we'll see what the writers want to do and how they want to set up season 9. Yeah. Let's see, guys. Ask me some questions here. What do you got? What do you got? Will Eugene switch over to Rick's group? I think so. I think Rick's group will be Dwight, Eugene, the rest of his people, and Eugene will come back to Rick's team at some point, especially with the Bullet's making of his ability. So I think that'll be for sure with the Bullet shop and the Bullet making for sure. Will Eugene switch over? Got that. Was Carl killed off to keep Negan around? Debbie Martin, great question. Basically, they chose Negan over Carl. They didn't have to, but they did. They were connecting the dots with Carl dying to help save Rick and Negan and working together in this magical world. And you're going to have Negan stay there with Judith in the flower pots and the tomato plants, and we're all going to be kumbaya. How's that going to work with Maggie, with Morgan, with Rick, with Daryl, with Dwight, with whoever, with this, with Negan? How could you have that? If the person that's standing over there alive killed my loved one, I'm not going to be cool with them in the zombie apocalypse. Come on. If I was Maggie and that person over there killed Glenn, I'm not going to be like, this is okay. He didn't have to kill Glenn. He was going to kill one person. He killed Abraham, and then he was punched in the face by Daryl, so then he killed Glenn. So that's not going to be cool. So I don't know how that's going to happen, but that's the way they're doing with it. So yes, basically they chose Negan over Carl. I think that's the easiest way of putting it. So are the Whispers nomadic? Do they move with the herd? Great question, Paul. Well, the Whispers they bound together. They wear walker skins and they wear walker masks of the walkers that they cleaned out, and they're supposed to blend in with them. But if you cleaned out a walker thing, it wouldn't smell like the walker or anything, right? And if it did, how gross would that be to be on your face for an extended period of time? So you can walk next to a herd of walkers and be camouflaged in that. That's, in theory, how it is. We'll see how it plays out on the show. Do you think Maggie's baby will survive? That's the million-dollar question. Well, not the million-dollar question, the $100,000 question. If Maggie's baby will survive, because Maggie might not be around. So I said it before that if they're going to kill off Maggie, that's an easy way to kill off Maggie, is she died in childbirth. Yes, it's connected with Lori, but what would make it realistic to make sense? How could she die? She's supposed to be the leader of Hilltop and run things. She's still running things in the comic today. So that doesn't make sense for it. I don't know how else. Maybe the baby survives. Maggie dies giving birth. Maybe they both die. Maybe baby Gracie is the new baby that Maggie was supposed to have but didn't. So it's interesting to see how it plays out. Why do you think Rick was bleed for? So probably the tree thing is what you're asking there, Nathan. I think he was bleeding because he's wounded. It's a big wound in his stomach, on his side, on his abs. And it could be the arrow that Dwight shoots him with, or someone else that's supposed to be tainted, but it's not. He gets shot with an arrow, and Rick is wounded. He thinks he's going to die, but he's actually not infected because Dwight did not put the walker bacteria on the arrow tip. So he thinks he's going to die and he's upset from that, or it's the fight, the battle with Negan. He could have got stabbed or hit or shot or something happened. He's not bit. He's not going to die. Is his leg broken there? Maybe, because that kind of looks like what would happen. He got away, but why would nobody else be with him and caring for him and taking care of him? There's definitely some lull and some big things, or maybe he got away after the fight and they're coming after him to come help him or something. But I think he's just wounded after. It doesn't look to be around Hilltop, but it could be. I don't know what's up with the stained glass by the trees, but people have to be living around there, so it could just be outside of Hilltop somewhere. But I'm interested to find out because I want to know. I don't think he has a knife in his hand. I don't know where that came from. To me, it just looks like his gun handle of his Colt Python pistol. It doesn't make sense. Have I ever watched Little Miss Sunshine? Great question, Magic Wisp. Yes, I have, and that doesn't matter to The Walking Dead. But why is Rick under the tree with blood on his hand and his shoe? I just answered that. Kelly, that I think he's wounded from the arrow, and he doesn't have a. I don't think he has a knife in his hand, but he could. How do you think Rosita and Eugene's interactions will be when he returns? I don't know. Rosita is kind of like not as crazy or not as kill mode. She's kind of like, I'm going to calm things down a little bit. So maybe she's a little nicer to Eugene. Do they set up that comic book arc too with Eugene and Rosita before the comic death of one of those characters? That would be kind of crazy. I can't see that actually happen. It just wouldn't make sense to me, but maybe in the comic didn't either. Where is Sherry? Is she alive? Don't know yet. Hopefully we'll find out in season 9. That would be the earliest she'll come back. We won't see her in season 8. Who's your least favorite Walking Dead character? Well, probably Jared. Jared's pretty terrible. Not a big fan of Jared. Any of the saviors besides Gavin and Simon and Dwight. Negan's okay, but we'll see. So what you got here? Will Gabriel live? Janet, yes, I think he lives. I think that Gabriel is going to be pissed when he sees Gregory, and I'm excited to see how that plays out. Gabriel's just sick. I think it'll be interesting to see how that plays out in the rest of the series too, because if you know the comic, you know what happens to Gregory. I don't think it happens this season. I think season 9 is what Gregory gets that big comic aspect of it, if you know what I'm talking about. So do I think Rosita and Dwight will be a couple? I don't know. I think Dwight doesn't have another love interest outside of the Saviors. If you know the comic, you know he gets connected with Laura, another Savior. Sherry, he's kind of connected with too, but then Sherry doesn't, because Sherry comes back around. She doesn't end up with Dwight, and Dwight ends up with a different Savior chick that we've already seen on the show. We'll see if that actually happens or not, because somebody knows that Dwight's the traitor. We'll see how that plays out too. So there's a lot of stuff that could be very important. So great questions here. Do you think they will replace Carl with Clementine in some way? Clementine will not be on the show. That's a video game connection with that. It'd be cool in the comic, but I don't think it'll happen on the show at all. Tobin gets Lucille in front of Carol. I don't think so. In Elda Rivera, I think Tobin gets killed by the poison, maybe machete, blade, knife, bullet, the tainted weapons. That's the word that goes around, that Tobin dies in a couple episodes. Not this one, but in a couple weeks. I don't think Heath and Sherry, I don't think they'll head on the pike. I think Heath needs to become a big character. I think he needs to come back to Alexandria. Well, that'd be pretty crazy if he came to Alexandria and it was like in shambles and he's like, what the heck? Where's my people at? So that'd be kind of crazy, but I don't know if that's going to happen at all. I think Heath brings the first introduction of the Whisperers. So, what? But please answer my question. Why hasn't Daryl had a love interest? They don't know what to do with the character. I know Norman Reedus wants them to have Daryl to have a dog on the show, but that hasn't happened either. But I think they're leaving it open for the Daryl possibility if he has a love interest, whether it be a male or female or whatever. I don't know if they'll ever do that. I think they want to leave that character open. They want to leave some mystery behind him for it. I think that would be what it was. So great question for the Red Machete to come back. I want to see that too. I want to see the Red Machete, and it's pretty cool. Have you seen the last episode on that? I like that. It was pretty interesting, the last episode. I'm not sure if there's many more of it, but I liked it. I want to see the orange backpack. You know how I feel about the theory, guys. If you know this channel, I want to see the orange backpack being put into its own little mini series. I think that would be pretty cool, like the red machete. How long would it take to die from a tainted weapon? Probably it depends on how deep the cut is, how much bacteria was on it, where the actual tainted weapon actually hit. Is it your major blood supply? Is it, your finger? Is it there? It would probably be pretty quick. It would probably be a couple hours before you got totally infected. And it kind of doesn't make sense, because if we're all infected, how does that I guess it just expedites the process. It becomes a bacterial infection and we die from that, but it also kills us from the bacteria that's in it that we're all, I don't know. But when do you think we'll replace, do you think they will replace him at all? Not sure what the question is, Zombie Life 17. We'll see how it goes down. Please answer my question. Why isn't Daryl a love interest? Got that one. A lot of great questions. So, guys, for those who don't know, I got a book series. Here's the first book, Fight for Us. It's on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, Kindle versions. It's pretty excited about it. It's the first book of it. Now that we hit 50,000 subscribers, we're going to be doing prizes, giveaways, quizzes. The quizzes will be very important to how you win, the gift cards and stuff that we're going to do. And the first book will be important to that. It's not just going to be a Walking Dead quiz. It'll be a Fight for Us quiz, a PT channel quiz, some Facebook stuff, Instagram stuff, and also The Walking Dead, of course. But the first book of the Fight for Us will be involved in that first quiz. I can guarantee that. So you definitely want to pick that up. So please answer, will Morgan be back? He will be on Fear the Walking Dead. He's supposed to help revive that show, change that show. I think it'll be interesting to see if he comes back to The Walking Dead. I don't see Morgan dying on the show, the series, or not. That would be pretty crappy if he left The Walking Dead, went to Fear the Walking Dead just to die. He's not going to die in my eyes at all. He makes too much sense of connecting the two shows. Hopefully the very end of the series is Morgan meeting Rick, or Morgan seeing a dying Rick, or Morgan and Rick doing something. Whatever the final thing of the series would be. I don't think Morgan dies. I don't think Daryl dies. I don't think a lot of stuff happens. So, do you think I will be able to stay up long enough to finish watching The Talking Dead tonight? Not sure if you'll stay up, but I think The Talking Dead should be interesting. I know Robert Kirkman and Ross Marquand, who plays Erin, and a surprise guest will be on The Talking Dead tonight. So is it going to be Jadis? Is it going to be somebody else? Is it going to be Oceanside? Is it going to be someone there? Cindy? Is it going to be somebody connected there? We'll see. I would think it's going to be somebody connected with the Scavengers, maybe even Stephen Ogg. That'd be pretty cool as well. So I'm making a joke. Don't think time was unnecessary. Yeah. Let's see. In Carl's dream sequence, Rick has a cane. How did Carl know? How did he know that? I think he just wants to picture Rick being an old man. He survives, he moves on, he lives, and he goes to be old. He gets older. But if Judith is, 5-6 years old, I think that it's not that much of a timeline. It's not that much of a change for there. But Rick looks so old, and he's walking around with a cane. That's kind of crazy. So I think that Rick, that's the comic connection, that Rick has a cane, but that doesn't make sense to me that Carl would see exactly all that. But let's see what we got here. So guys who are going to be book 6, I have the patrons and the people who have donated. I have Brad, Kat, Jerry Lynn and Kirsten, Andre, Hector, Brian, James, Felix, Jan with Tamara and Luna, and DK. We'll all be in book 6. After that, you have the possibility to be in book 7 if you would like, for sure. But book 6 is coming out pretty soon, guys. So let's see what else you got. I'm going to go for another, let's say, 15 minutes. So rapid fire questions. Will we have more callbacks? I think so. I think callbacks will be around the rest of the season. I think we'll see that maybe into season 1, season 2, and I think it'd be pretty cool to see that. I love seeing the callbacks. I love seeing how it's all connected. What will happen to Jadis? Just don't know yet, guys. Does she kill herself? Does she become a prisoner? Does she do anything useful. I don't know. Does she change the way they talk? Is she rehabilitated for it? So, can I have a book for my birthday? Sherry, I would love to. Maybe if you win the prize in the giveaway, we'll have it there as well. But I don't have the ability to mail them out. It's I have to buy them myself, and it's a whole big thing for it. So, how do you get to get in the book? You have to donate on our Patreon page, which is at the PT channel on Patreon, or our PayPal account for the donations of it. So we did $15 for a smaller part, $25 for a bigger part, and if you want to donate more than that, you can even have a bigger part than all of that. But the donations are pretty cool. Do I ship to Daryl? You're in Belgium, Daryl? Amazon.com, the European ones, there's Kindle versions, so the books can ship directly to you through Amazon. So you just go on Amazon, whatever country you're in, and if they can send it out, you can. So that's pretty cool. So my man ACC, thank you for the super chat. You are awesome. I appreciate it. If you want me to give you a shout out again or answer any questions, I will. Thank you for that. Let's go. Like I said, we're going to go for another 15 minutes. We'll be answering some questions. But tonight's episode looks good. I'm excited for the rest of the Season 8, second half. I like it, guys. Season 8, to me, is coming out a big part of the series. It's going to be connecting some things. The whole Carl thing, I don't know if we're ever going to be able to get over it or not. So I think that we'll see if it eventually kills the series for a lot of people. To me, it won't. So, all right. Let's see what you got. Oh, sorry, ACC. I didn't know. I'm just saying my person then. Sorry, my lady ACC doing there. So sorry, I can't tell gender from a name here sometimes. But if you were to be a Walking Dead character, who would it be? Hopefully it would be someone that sticks around for a long time and lives. I don't know if I'd want to be Rick, because that's a lot of responsibility and a lot of loss and a lot of problems. Same thing kind of with Daryl. I don't know. I probably want to be someone who stays behind the scenes a little bit more and is involved but not super involved. I guess the character I would love to be would be a hybrid, and that's the character that is the main character in the book series of my book series. And it's a hybrid of a couple of different characters on the show. You'll have to check out to see what it is. Okay, can you make me a character in one of your... I can. Sherry, for sure. You just got to donate to the Patreon page or our PayPal. We can definitely get you in there. I have a lot of people asking me all the time to be in the book, and I love to put a lot of people in there. I don't know, the Sherry name might be a little tough, because of The Walking Dead and stuff, and I'm trying to have my own series to be away from that. But, so... pretty cool stuff. I can get a lot of people in there. Starting book 7, which I'll start writing in the summer. I'm going to take a break after writing book 6. I'm going to have it out in a couple weeks, and then I'm taking a break. I'm going to start working on the comic. I got to write the script for the comic, and then getting how to get published for that. And it might just be digital for right now for those things. But the comic book 1 is my goal to have this year for it. So thank you, Daryl. Congrats for 50,000 subscribers. Yes, guys, we hit 50,000 subscribers. The last time I did my live chat last Sunday, we were just around the 50,000 mark. We hit it early in the week, and I'm excited for the future of the channel, the series, the books, everything involved. We got a lot of good stuff going. The Walking Dead would be a big part of it for sure. The book series as well. 50,000 is hopefully just the starting point. We have a goal of 100,000 subscribers, guys. So we're going to be doing prizes from the quizzes. And to be eligible, you got to be a subscriber. You got to be connected with our Walking Dead community, Facebook pages and groups, and everything involved with that. So let's see what we got for a couple more questions. We're going to go for another 10 minutes. So did I start watching The Walking Dead right away? Actually, I started watching The Walking Dead probably season 2, season 3, and that was a little into it for that. I got into the comic and the show around the same time when it was already published for that. So let's see. Mega Dr. Dre, Carl and Maggie both gone from season 9 will suck, especially since they have a connection in the new beginning arc. I agree with you. Carl's definitely gone. Maggie could still be around. So there's still hope that she's still there for season 9. And even if Lauren, like I said, even if Lauren Cohan doesn't sign, she could still be on. Lauren Cohan's gone. The character of Maggie Rhee could still be there if they recast her. Would you rather they kill the character off or recast her, guys? What do you think? Maggie stays around, but it's a new actress. I'd rather have that than killing her off, for sure. But we'll see what happens with it. But thank you, Mega Dr. Dre, for the super chat. Always awesome. Thank you very much. Let's see what else we got here. Like I said, going for another 10 minutes, guys. Do you think Eduardo is TV Dante? His fan base is blowing up. Pretty cool. I like Eduardo on the hilltop. That would be pretty cool. I would love to see that if he's actually the TV Dante, because Dante does have bigger roles for the series down the road. I wouldn't mind that. I like Eduardo. I think that would be pretty interesting if they do that again for the comic connections. I like that. I like the idea of having more and more comic connections, but I also like the little differences. So the new beginning story arc, Deja Vu, it might sound stupid, but it's actually a nice startup after the Walking Dead All-Out War. So I think it should be pretty interesting, especially when the Whisperers come around town. That should be pretty cool. I think, what else we got here? You guys are awesome for joining me this Sunday. What are you guys doing for the episode? Watching it tonight, DVRing it, watching it at your house. So what's up, Leanne Lee? I'm not mad at anybody in here. Thank you guys for joining me on there. Let's see, ask a question. What do we got for questions? Like I said, guys, I'm going to be going for a couple more minutes. Ask your questions now because I want to do some rapid fire questions. You think Negan will die? I do not think so. It would be better for the show if he did, but I don't think it'll happen at all. That's a great question, Dr. Dre. When will Negan die in the comics/TV series? I would think in the comics it'll be issue 200. That would make sense. He has a 100-issue run. He comes in issue 100, dies in 200. The TV series, probably not for a while. I would love for Negan to die at the end of season 8, but I don't think he does. I think Negan lives on because of the comic connection, especially with them killing Carl. They need to have Negan on the show, even though it's hurt. Even though I'd rather have Carl than Negan, but I think the best answer for you, Mega Dr. Dre, is that Negan will die in issue 200. Something big has to happen in issue 200. You know, we're in the 170s now of the comic. That would be like right around the corner. It would be not right around the corner in a couple of years because it's one issue a month. But something big has to happen in issue 200, and we'll see what brings it over for me, guys. What's up? Where you at, Liam? Let me see. Ask the question again. Well, sorry, when I'm talking here, I'm trying to just bring up my own things and asking questions at the same time, and I might have missed your chat questions. So what do you guys have? So I'm looking at it right now. So post your question right now, and I will answer it. I'm not disrespecting anybody or not trying to answer that. Do you think Maggie should have another love interest like the comic? Nah, I don't know. I don't think people want to see that until she has time to grieve over Glenn. Maybe down the road, if she stays on the show, if Maggie doesn't die and gets killed off, if they bring Lauren Cohan back, I wouldn't mind to have the whole thing like in the comic with Dante for it. So, will Jared die tonight, Janet? No, unfortunately, Jared does not. We don't see Hilltop. Jared is there at the Hilltop right now. We'll see Jared's final episode around episode 14, and that's about a month away now. So what do you think about Eugene? Will he live on? Yes, Eugene sticks around for a long time. He's the coward who stays behind the strong people who will do that. He's a smart guy. He's capable for sure. So in Europe, yeah, I'm sorry, you guys. You got to wait for another day for the Walking Dead to air. It sucks that it's on Monday. I hate that it is for you guys. Or you can wait. I guess you can stay up and watch it at 2 in the morning or whatever the time zone is for you. So let's see. Will we have more extended episodes this season? For sure. We will definitely have more episodes. I'm not sure how long the episode is tonight. It could be a couple minutes longer, but we'll definitely have more extended episodes. How do you think Negan will react to Carl's death? He will find out tonight about it. You'll see in the note, but he actually taunts Rick, blaming that it's Rick's fault that Carl is dead. But Negan will have some effect that he'll find out about Carl's death tonight. So we'll see how he actually makes of Carl's death. Do you think that Michonne and Rick could have a baby? I think that would slightly make... Yeah, it could. Could have a Team Michonne baby for sure. I know Andrew Lincoln would love to have that on the show. I wouldn't mind seeing that either. That would be a nice twist and a nice change. I don't know if it would replace the Carl aspect, but it would be pretty cool to see Michonne with a baby bump on there too. So, man, Maggie, Dr. Dre, you're killing it today. Will Jesus be more badass in Season 9 and beyond? I hope so. I hope he's more badass in the second half of Season 8. We need him to have that man bun. We need to have his karate, kung fu, taekwondo skills, kicking butt. I want to see him beat up Negan a little bit. I want to see that happen for sure. I don't know why they're not doing the whole thing with Jesus being the more capable fighter and really badass character like he is in the comics. It's kind of frustrating, especially during the war, with him and Negan and the Savers. He's all about saving the Savers. He's not about helping Rick and the Hilltop really do everything there. He's kind of... I don't know if it's the writing, if they're not sure what to do with Tom Paine or the action or how it is, because his fighting with Rick and Daryl was pretty cool. It was very minimal, but it was pretty cool. So what are your thoughts with the helicopter? I want to see it. I want to see the helicopter be connected. I want it to be a real thing. I think it's connected with Morgan, and he goes and he rides the helicopter all the way to Texas from Virginia, and we'll see if that's the big thing. I don't know how else it fits in play with a helicopter for the war. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me besides being connected with Morgan if it's something to do with this season, which I would think that makes the most sense. So let's see what we got. Walking Dead movie coming soon? I don't think coming soon, but maybe down the road. Great question, Christina. Will Jesus eventually become Erin's boyfriend? I think so. Down the road, probably if it goes past season 10, maybe season 11. What you got? That would be awesome. I'm rooting for them. I don't know what that was for it. Do you think Rick would want another kid? I think so. I think Rick would. Not sure how they would actually do it because that waters down Michonne greatly. It helps Rick and the baby and the atmosphere that way, but I would love to see, because that was kind of better. Like Andrea and Michonne's characters are totally different, and the fact that Rick is with Michonne now, it kind of hurts the Michonne character in my eyes. So that is true. Andre, that getting pregnant is a tough thing to have in the zombie. It's tough in real life too. It's tough in the zombie apocalypse for sure. So, will Morgan go with Jesus train the kid? That would be pretty cool if Henry became Morgan's, stick fighter guy. He knows the stick from Morgan and the gun from Carol and the fighting from Jesus. He would be like the ultimate killing machine in the zombie apocalypse with The Walking Dead. That would be pretty cool. Who from Hilltop will be bigger in season 9? Hopefully Eduardo, Jesus, Birdie, hopefully characters like that. Gregory, somewhat, for sure. I don't know. I'm not going to watch the Oscars. Take it to a great question. Will the Oscars affect tonight's ratings? Probably. Might be a little lower rated just because people are going to not watch it as much after the Carl death. And they're going to have... I think the ratings are going to slowly go down from, season 4 and 5 and 6 when it was at the height of the series. But that's a great question. I think that makes sense for the Oscars. I'm not going to watch the Oscars. I don't really care about the Oscars. I haven't even seen probably 90% of the movies that are in it. Even though, did you see the Razzies who got the worst movie of 2017? Anybody? Razzies, the worst movies of 2017 is the Emoji Movie. And I actually watched that movie on the cruise, the Walker Stalker cruise, and it is pretty bad. That's for sure. Abraham. I think Abraham was a wasted death. I think I agree with that. Enough time has passed. Maggie and Daryl romance. I don't know. Maggie and Daryl, that's a little crazy. I think that's a little much, but it could. I don't know. I would like to see Daryl and Carol have a kiss or something, but I guess they just want to have that, different kind of relationship and connection for it. So will Tara survive in season 9? I don't think so, because there's rumors that she might die. Not sure where the rest of the storyline goes. If it is, she probably goes off in her own world on the pirate mission like in the comics. But that's a great question. I'm not sure the future of Tara Chamber at all. We'll see what happens with Alana Masterson, and I know that she enjoys playing Tara. I actually got to meet her a couple times, and she's pretty cool in real life. Do you think Maggie's baby will survive? I don't know. I'm not sure what the future of Maggie Rhee is. That's going to be the whole telling tale of it. So I think Riggs had contract. I agree with you, Mega Dr. Dre. I think Riggs had contract issues. He died abruptly. I agree with you on that too. I've been saying that from the time that stuff came around, that it was coming out. I think that was kind of the ultimate answer for why he was killed off. But we'll see down the road. We'll see after the show is, in 10 years. We'll see if Chandler Riggs writes a tell-all or does an interview or something, or 5 years from now where it's that too. So Eduardo and Rosita, that would be a nice romance on there for sure. Eduardo gets a bigger part. Rosita gets another love interest. That would be, I could be down with that. Because Rosita's love interest in the comic is it's pretty crazy in the comic if that ever comes to the show. So there you go, guys. I am going to cut it there. I am going to be going to do my cleaning and stuff for the Sunday. It's 2:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in Florida. Going to say thank you guys for watching. Thank you for the super chats, guys, who's ever done one. You guys are awesome. So Mega Dr. Dre, you are awesome. ACC, Sean, everybody like that too. So ACC, my lady, sorry, not my guy. Sorry about that. But you guys are awesome. I appreciate everything. You guys are pretty much the best people joining me right now. I appreciate everything you guys for doing, being a part of the channel. If you like what we do here and you're new to the channel, thank you for joining me. We got a goal of 100,000 subscribers. We got 50,000 as we speak. As I make this video, we're coming up on 51,000, and then we'll be doing that. So I'll keep you guys posted for the Walking Dead quiz, the Fight For Us quiz, the PT channel quiz, and we're going to have some giveaways, more prizes, more giveaways for it. And you got to be a subscriber to be eligible. It'll probably be an Amazon gift card. That'll be, a code that you put in. So if you're outside of the United States, I can give that to you and you can do it. I've already done 3 of those previously, so we'll be doing more and more of that. I'm excited for tonight because the episode looks good to continue on with the story. The rest of season 8 looks good. I'm excited for the future of The Walking Dead. How about you guys? Let me know your thoughts. As always, enjoy the episode tonight. Take care. You guys are awesome for joining me. I can't say it enough. And remember, guys, it's in the game of life. You got to make some left turns before you make a right one.